Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something every caregiver knows intimately, the temper tantrum. We're going to break down the science behind it, give you real strategies that work, and talk about the support you need to get through these, let's call them emotional storms. All right, let's jump right in.
Oh, this picture? We've all been there, right? You're in the grocery store, maybe the library, and bam, full-on meltdown. You feel everyone's eyes on you, and it's just so frustrating, so embarrassing. And you're just left thinking, what is happening inside their little head right now?
And that's really the big question, isn't it? Is this just bad behavior? Are they trying to manipulate you? Or is something else going on? Something deep inside their brain? Because let me tell you, the answer to that question changes everything about how we should handle it.
Okay, so let's get into the science of it all. See, a tantrum isn't just what you see on the outside. It's a full-blown physiological storm happening inside your child's brain, and it all kicks off in one specific place.
This is the amygdala. I want you to think of it as the brain's little smoke detector. And in a young kid, this thing is super sensitive. It's working overtime, constantly scanning for threats. And a threat could be anything. You said no to a cookie, another kid took their toy, whatever it is, the second it senses that frustration, it pulls the fire alarm.
So, the amygdala sounds the alarm, and immediately the hypothalamus gets the message and goes, okay, emergency. It floods the body with stress hormones. We're talking cortisol, adrenaline, the works. This isn't just a feeling of being upset, it's a physical reaction. Their heart starts racing, their muscles get tense, they start screaming. Your child is literally in a fight or flight response. All right, so what part of the brain is supposed to step in and calm all this chaos down? Well, that's the job of the prefrontal cortex. Think of it as the brain's CEO, the part that handles logic, reasoning, and impulse control. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. In a young child, the PFC is basically a construction zone. It's not finished yet. So you've got this boiling pot of emotion with a lid that's barely holding on.
So when you put it all together, look at this. You've got a superactive alarm system, the amygdala, and a fully functional stress response. But the one part of the brain that's supposed to hit the brakes, the prefrontal cortex, it's just not ready yet. This is why it's not bad behavior. It's a brain that literally cannot regulate itself. And that's why trying to reason with a toddler in the middle of a tantrum is pointless. Their CEO is out to lunch. That part of the brain is completely offline.
Okay, so tantrums are a normal part of brain development. Got it. But how normal is this normal? When should we actually be worried? I know this is a huge source of stress for caregivers, so let's actually look at the numbers.
Yeah, look at that, 91%. 91% of kids between 2.5 and 3 years old have tantrums. So let's let that sink in for a second. It's not the exception to the rule, it is the rule. So if your kid is having meltdowns, trust me, they are in very, very good company.
But, of course, not all tantrums are the same. This chart is really helpful for spotting the difference between what's typical and what might be a red flag. So, a normal tantrum, it's usually pretty short, under 15 minutes. It gets less frequent as they get older, and afterward, they can be comforted. The things you might want to pay more attention to are meltdowns that regularly go on for more than 25 minutes, that get worse after age 5 or involve aggression towards themselves or others, or if they just seem to be in a bad mood all the time, even between tantrums.
Just understanding the difference here, knowing what to expect and what to look out for, it can really shift you from feeling worried and helpless to feeling empowered. You have a map, you know what you're looking at.
Okay, so we've talked about the why, the brain science, and the what, what's normal. Now let's get to the how. We're going to build your toolkit. And hey, if this is clicking for you, if you're finding this useful, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on more of these explainers. All right, the number one most important tool you have is something called co-regulation. The idea is so simple, but it is a total game changer. Here it is. Your calm becomes their calm.
Remember how their prefrontal cortex, their CEO, is still under construction? Well, that means they literally can't calm themselves down. They need to borrow our calm. We have to be their external regulator. It's amazing, actually. When we stay calm, when we speak softly, when we slow our own breathing, their little nervous system can literally sync up with ours and start to calm down too. You are the lid for their boiling pot.
So one of the best ways to do this is a strategy called name it to tame it. It's 4 simple steps. 1, just acknowledge what you see. I see your fists are tight. 2, give the feeling a name. It looks like you feel so angry. And get this, brain scans show that just putting a word to a big feeling starts to calm down that fired up amygdala. 3, validate it. You're angry because I said no more cookies. And 4, the most important part, reassure them. I love you. I'm right here. I love you even when you're mad. This whole process is huge for building their emotional intelligence.
Okay, so with that foundation of co-regulation in place, let's get even more practical. Let's talk about specific things you can do before, during, and after a meltdown.
Honestly, the best tantrum is the one that never happens, right? So let's talk prevention. 2 of the biggest triggers are hunger and exhaustion, so a solid schedule for snacks and sleep is your best friend. Also, give them a heads up before you switch activities. Offer them little choices like red cup or blue cup. It gives them a sense of control. And of course, catch them being good. Praising the behavior you want to see goes a long, long way in keeping that pot from boiling over in the first place.
But okay, the meltdown is happening. What now? Rule number 1, and you know what it is. You stay calm. That's co-regulation. Your main job is to validate their feeling. I see you're really sad, while holding the limit, but we're still not getting the toy. The absolute worst thing you can do is give in. I know it's tempting because it stops the screaming right now, but all that does is teach their brain, hey, screaming works, and not just guarantees you're going to see more tantrums down the road.
Now, as they get a little bit older, we can start talking about consequences, but they have to be logical. For example, if they're being silly and spill their drink, sending them to their room doesn't make sense. The logical consequence is, okay, let's get a paper towel and clean it up. If they're fighting over a toy, taking away dessert feels random. The logical consequence? The toy gets put away for a while. See the difference? It connects the action to the outcome, which is how they actually learn.
Big, frequent tantrums don't just affect one child. They create ripples that spread through the whole family. And we really need to talk about the impact this has on everyone else in the house, especially on siblings.
Think about it from a sibling's perspective. It can be so stressful living with that kind of unpredictability. They might end up always on edge, just waiting for the next explosion. Or some kids become the lost child. They just try to be invisible so they don't add to the stress. And a lot of them become little people pleasers, feeling like they have to be perfect all the time to keep the peace. That is a really heavy weight for a kid to carry.
So what do we do for them? Well, there's a really great, simple framework called the love technique. L is for listen, really listen, without jumping in to fix it. O is for observe. What is their body language telling you? V is for validate. Put their feelings into words. Wow, it sounds like it was really scary when your sister was yelling. And E is for empathize. Let them know you get it.
And this all leads to a really powerful idea from Dr. Dan Siegel. He says that what matters isn't just the stressful thing that happened, but how we help a child make sense of it. Having a caring adult there to help them process a big, scary feeling, that's what turns a tough experience into a chance to build resilience.
And that's the big idea I want to leave you with today. What if we shifted our whole perspective? What if a tantrum isn't just a problem we have to shut down? What if every single one is an opportunity? An opportunity to connect with our child, to teach them how to handle huge feelings, and to build the resilience that's going to help them for the rest of their lives.
Thanks so much for sticking with me through this. If this guide helped you look at tantrums a little differently, please make sure you're subscribed for more deep dives into the science behind our everyday lives. I'll see you in the next one.